Four, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Execute. What does that mean to you? June 14, 2012. The Execute video entered your lives, basically letting you know that I, Jacob Cage, was coming. Also, letting you know the numbers are 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, and ended with Execute. You see, those numbers are an equation. A group of numbers that mean something, that adds to something. That equation is called the Velazzetti equation. It's a scientific equation that predicts when the end of the world as you know it happens. You add those numbers up, and it equals 108. That's right, 108. June 14th, that video was posted. And September 30th, 2012, 108 days later, NWF 6 Unrestricted takes place. Let that settle into your brains a little bit. Let that marinate. You see, what I'm trying to tell you is I knew all along that the events and the courses of actions, things of that nature, throughout my time from my debut till now, have all been a part of my equation, of my plan. A plan that's bigger than you, Robby Chaotic. And dare I say, a plan that maybe even the boss, Jeff Riley, don't even know about. I wanted to take 3 things from you, Robby. Your dignity, your pride, and your heart. Dignity. You hid behind a mask your whole NWF career as the owner of Neighborhood Wrestling Federation. And you were the first champion and the only champion up till this point. I want to take your dignity, that mask, and I did on my debut.
The future is here, baby!
That was title shot number 1 for me. My debut. I didn't get the job done because I didn't want to get the job done. You see, Jeff Riley had a plan of his own. He's like, Jacob, I have suspicions about that Robby Chaotic. I don't like him. I wanted to fire him before. But because of Robbie Mack wanting to bring him back on and say Robbie's a good guy, they decided to keep him. So he had a suspicion something was up between Robby Chaotic and Robbie Mack. Lo and behold, take the mask, and it's Robby Chaotic and Robbie Mack, all the same person. Yeah. So Jeff had his suspicions about that, and he was right. They were both the same person. So I took your dignity, Rob. Here's where it gets good. NWF 5. All or nothing. Your pride. Once that mask was removed, once that layer was off, you prided yourself as being the co-GM of NWF. You walked around and boasted you're throwing your weight around now. You know, every time you'd interrupt me, you're saying, I'm still your boss. And this also brings us to, before I continue with the events that transported at NWF 5, let's go back a step. Let's go to NWF 4. When I wasn't even scheduled on the card, you booked me in a match against you and put the title on line. Title shot number 2. Again, it wasn't the right time. Here's what I mean by that. You see, if I would have went ahead and beat you for that title that day, all you would have done was push more of your weight around as the co-GM of NWF. So I knew there was something I had to do. And that was to make sure you were no longer in power and to bring you down to a human level before I take your heart, before I take the NWF Championship. So lo and behold, NWF 5, All or Nothing. Well, we all saw what happened. I did this to you. I took the company from you and brought you down to a human level. I took your pride, Robby Chaotic. I took your baby. I took the Neighborhood Wrestling Federation from you and gave it to Jeff. Now, NWF 6, September 30th, unrestricted, 108 days later, after the Execute video that originally was letting you know I was coming. I execute the final part of this plan, of this equation. I'm taking your heart, which will leave you with nothing. I'm taking the NWF Championship, and this will be the time. I didn't want it those other 2 times. It wasn't the right time, but this is the future. This is the right time. I'm leaving you with nothing. And then once I am champion, the whole NWF changes. That will be the end of the world, as you, Robby Chaotic, and the rest of Neighborhood Wrestling Federation, as they know it. The future is here, and your time is up.